Crime! Who doesn't love a bit of crime? Games Workshop certainly have a passing interest in it. That's why they created the world of Necromunda. A dystopian megacity home to mutants, gun-toting maniacs and unrepentant war criminals alike. A town where you're nothing unless you have a pocket full of space bucks and a gold-plated Tommy gun. Debauchery, violence and drugs is all the residents know, but you won't be getting your free fives from any standard roadman.
What do you want, bro?
You'll be buying your illicit substances from the neon hammers and badasses of Clan Escher, Necromunda's dealers and exotic animal traders. These models are some of my favourite in the Necromunda range, but they've been out for a while now, and I wanted to make something new. Thankfully, using the power of ZBrush, the only limit to what we can create is our own imaginations.
I'm a gangster. I'm a straight-up G.
With all that in mind, it was time to get some ideas up on my ideas wall. I knew I wanted to make a
legally distinct original creation
that would fit into any range on the tabletop. I wanted my end creation to be somewhere between the artwork of James Hewlett's Tank Girl and the mysterious savagery of ritual voodoo garb. One of the things I liked about the Escher models was their cool fashion sense and excellent coats, although some of them did seem to struggle with putting them on.
And then the other hand goes below and just slides on, super easy.
So the first thing on the wall will be excellent gangster coats, worn correctly. I also want my character to display massive opulence and be dripping with as much finery as possible, like she has been given access to luxuries that she would not have been able to get if it wasn't for her life of crime, like gun modifications and all-round swagged up gear. I wanted to mix this with some tribal elements, like unusual ritualistic jewelry, feathers, and of course the voodoo headdress we mentioned earlier.
Me and Cisco are the leaders of the gangster crew.
The first thing I did was create a model in T-pose. And although a lot of sculptors like to start things off this way, this was quite unusual for me. I usually quite like to have a decent idea of what the pose is going to be in my head. But as I was struggling with that part, I thought maybe if I started to make something, her character would come out and help me with the idea of the pose that I was looking for. Eventually I settled on something a bit like this, wide stance, pirate-style pose. A cocky confidence that suggests she's going to be leaving the battlefield with any valuables she can prize off your cold dead body. And with a bit more refining and tinkering, it ended up looking like this. I was particularly liking how the boots were coming along. The steel toe-cap Cuban heel cross was perfect for both the dance floor and the construction site. I wanted the curve of the sword to create a strong through line between her and her hair, as well as a nice through line from the tip of her gun to the top of her foot, creating a kind of a hammer and sickle of through line effects. So after neatening all of that stuff up, I was left with something that looked a bit like this and felt like I was ready for some test prints. And at this point I could see that a few issues had started to appear with the sculpt. As a true gamer, my experience of the female form has largely been based on the Sonic fan art I have seen, so there were a few anatomy issues around her abs and stomach area I wanted to fix. Also, the sword looked small, like she had a little kiddie sword, and that wasn't quite right. Plus the bullets would be chafing her legs up real bad, so I wanted to fix that too.
Yo, my gangster flow.
So after a few more tweaks, I was finally left with something that looked like this, and I was ready to do a few more test prints and even start painting it. It wasn't until quite late in the painting process that I decided I didn't like the sword. It just didn't look functional enough, sort of weird cross between a normal sword and a chainsword, and somehow it wasn't working. So I decided to fix that along with a couple of other tweaks here and there that I wanted to change. Now, I know what you're thinking. Stoney, why are you fucking around with it? You had a finished model there and now you're fucking around with it. You're fiddling with it. You're fiddling with it too much. And, you know, that's a criticism I've heard in the past. But in all honesty, why would I be trying to flog you models that I don't think are good? If I think that chainsaw looks shit and needs changing, then that chainsaw looks shit and needs changing. It's just like a wise man once said.
Just remember, Leahy, what comes around is all around.
So with that in mind, I tightened up a couple of bits here and there and made what I thought was a cooler chainsaw. Then I did another couple of test prints. After having had a go at painting this model already, I decided I wanted to make a version that could be printed with the head separately, so that the head could be painted on its own and then attached to the body, or if people wanted to use other heads, they could put them on the body or put the head on other bodies, you know, Frankenstein it up. The possibilities are endless. At this point, I'd already partially painted 3 other prints that I had done, and I couldn't be asked to invest a bunch of time in painting up this one as well, so I decided to give a go to this new paint method all the kids are talking about. The slap chop. A nice, quick, easy painting style that produces pretty decent miniatures.
I shot him in the face because he looked at me wrong.
So there she is, ready to go out and cause some crime, like some kind of cool reverse Batman. You can get over to Cults 3D from the link in the description below and buy yourself a copy of this if you've got a 3D printer. But this is the first model like this that we're going to be turning out, so we'd love to hear your feedback in the comments. It might be that we also do a limited run of printed models, so if that might be something you're interested in, then let us know as well. But until then, get over to that Cults 3D page and fill your boots. I've been Stoney from the Large Blast podcast. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, hit the bell as well, and we'll see you next time. Bye.